Y'all, stop what you're doing because this right here, it just flipped the internet upside down. We're talking about some never-before-seen footage that just leaked, and it's got D4vd and Celeste in the middle of an emotional roller coaster that fans never saw coming. What looked like a picture-perfect duo. Chile behind the scenes, it was toxic, messy, and full of secrets that'll make you question everything you thought you knew about them. Now, this ain't just rumors. We got video evidence, leaked from an inside source who was this close to the situation, showing a private moment that should have stayed behind closed doors. D4vd, he's heard saying some things that got fans cancelling meet and greets, and Celeste, whew, she clapped back with receipts, tears, and a bombshell confession that had everybody in the room gasping. Folks on Twitter are losing it, fan pages are divided, and even D4vd's own team is trying to do damage control. But it might be too late. This ain't just drama. This is legacy-altering, career-threatening, relationship-destroying tea. So buckle up, because we're unpacking every detail, every word, and every messy twist from this footage that just might change everything. Let's get into it. So the footage starts out quiet. Nothing too crazy at first. It looks like a behind-the-scenes moment, like someone was filming on a phone from the side, not realizing they were catching something serious. D4vd and Celeste are backstage at what fans later figured out was a private listening session in LA. Everything seems normal, but the energy between them, completely off. No smiles, no cute banter, just tension thick enough to cut with a knife. Celeste is standing with her arms crossed, clearly irritated, and D4vd is pacing back and forth, holding his phone like he's waiting for something, or someone, to call him back. In the background, you can hear muffled voices from a team member trying to get sound check ready, but D4vd isn't paying any attention. That's when Celeste drops the first bomb. She says quietly but clearly, "You think I don't know about Miami?" Boom. The whole room freezes. Even in the grainy footage, you can see D4vd's head snap up like he just got caught red-handed. He tries to brush it off at first, says, "What are you talking about?" But Celeste isn't having it. She pulls out her phone and starts scrolling. The camera shakes a little as the person filming tries to stay hidden, but you can hear the argument getting louder. Celeste holds her phone up and says, "Don't play dumb. This your little studio session, right?" Funny how studio time looks a whole lot like rooftop dinners and hotel balconies. Fans who've seen the footage say that's when D4vd's face drops. Completely. Like the blood drains from his body. He reaches for the phone saying, "Yo, stop, we're not doing this here." But Celeste pulls away. At this point, the person filming starts whispering to someone off camera like, "Yo, are you seeing this? Is this really happening right now?" Then D4vd tries to explain. He says, "Look, you already know how this industry is. People put pictures out of context. That's not what it looks like. I was in Miami for work, you know that." But Celeste isn't buying it. She hits back with, "So you kiss your producers now? Is that part of your process too?" The room goes dead silent. You can hear someone cough awkwardly in the background, probably one of the team members who had no idea they were about to witness a full-blown breakup. And then Celeste, visibly shaking, says something that makes everyone watching the footage freeze. "You lied to me. You told me this whole EP was about us, about me. And now I find out track 4 was written about her. You played me." At this point, fans online are in full meltdown mode. Twitter is exploding. Reddit threads are going crazy with breakdowns of which song she's talking about. Some are saying it's that unreleased track called Sugar Crash that he previewed at a private session. Others think it's the viral one with the lyric about a cherry dress on Ocean Drive. Either way, Celeste clearly feels betrayed, not just romantically, but creatively. 4vd tries to calm her down, saying, "Yo, you're tripping. That track wasn't even finished when I met her. You overthinking everything." But Celeste laughs. Not a happy laugh. That cold, heartbroken kind of laugh. She says, "You really out here using me as your muse and your alibi." And y'all, this is when emotions really start running high. D4vd slams his phone down on the table and yells, "You think I'm some kind of villain, don't you? Like I can't do anything right. Like I don't care about you. I've done everything to keep us private, to protect us." Celeste fires back instantly. "No, you kept us private to protect yourself, to keep your little fan base thinking you're some lonely romantic boy they can save. You hid me like I was a mistake." And that right there had fans divided. Some were saying Celeste had every right to be hurt. She stood by him during his rise, quietly supported him, was seen in background pics, but never acknowledged publicly. Others were defending D4vd, saying maybe he was just trying to keep his relationship away from the spotlight to avoid the mess. But now, the mess was front and center. Then, the footage cuts for a few seconds. Black screen. Maybe the person filming had to move or got nervous. But when it comes back, D4vd is sitting on a couch with his head in his hands, and Celeste is wiping her eyes, trying not to cry. There's a long silence, then she whispers, "I thought you were different." That line, instantly viral. TikTok edits everywhere. People putting sad piano music behind it. Fans in the comments like, "Nah, that broke me," and "Celeste deserves better." But then, and this is where the story takes its first real twist, a voice from off-camera speaks up. Someone says, "Yo, y'all need to stop before this goes viral. I think someone's recording." Celeste looks up, alarmed. D4vd just stares blankly, and then he mutters, "Let it. Maybe it's time people knew the truth." And just like that, the footage ends. Or at least, that's where the leaked footage cuts off. But the internet wasn't done. Fans started dissecting every moment. Who was the girl in Miami? What really happened with track 4? And was D4vd admitting to wanting the footage out? Within hours, fan accounts were putting together timelines. One thread claimed Celeste had posted a cryptic story weeks ago, just a black screen with the caption, "Don't let love make you stupid." Others dug up old live streams where D4vd had seemed distracted or avoided questions about his relationship. Suddenly, it all looked connected. Even more shockingly, someone who claimed to be Celeste's close friend came forward anonymously in the comments of a popular fan page. They wrote, "This been going on for a while. Celeste kept quiet to protect him, but he been disrespectful. Miami wasn't the first time, just the first time she had proof." Now whether that's real or just internet talk, no one knows for sure, but the damage was done. Fans began unfollowing, calling him out, demanding apologies. Meanwhile, some others were still defending him, saying the footage didn't show the full story and that everyone was rushing to judge. And as if that wasn't enough, another curveball came later that night when a voice memo leaked, supposedly from Celeste, where she's talking to someone about walking away. In the memo, she says, "I can't keep loving someone who only loves the version of me that fits into his music." Another viral line. Another viral line. Fans are saying Celeste might be ready to go solo herself, drop her own music, maybe even clap back through a diss track. Producers have already started following her on socials, and there are whispers of label meetings in New York, but that's not confirmed. Yet the real question now was, how would D4vd respond? Would he go live, post a statement, deny everything? Or was he going to let the footage speak for itself? The very next morning after the footage leaked, D4vd went completely silent on all platforms. No Instagram stories, no tweets, no lives, just ghost. And for someone who usually reposts fan art and interacts with comments on the daily, that silence was loud. But while D4vd was quiet, Celeste, she was strategic. She didn't say a word directly, but she knew exactly how to move. That same afternoon, she posted a single picture to her Instagram story. Black and white, blurry, her sitting in a studio booth with headphones on, head down. No caption, no tags, and yet, it spoke volumes. The fan pages were immediately in chaos. Everyone was like, wait, is she recording? Is she dropping a song? Is she about to air everything out through music? And within an hour, someone on Twitter claimed to have insider info that Celeste had booked time at Velvet Sound Studios in New York, the same place known for producing breakup anthems and viral R&B hits. Nothing was confirmed, but the streets were talking. Meanwhile, D4vd's team was scrambling. That night, a close source, who fans think might be his assistant, but we can't confirm, posted a cryptic tweet that said, "When you protect someone for too long, they forget who the villain really is." It got deleted within minutes, but not before fans screenshotted it and started dissecting. People started saying, wait, is D4vd being set up? And maybe this is all a calculated move to destroy him before a project drop. But others weren't buying that narrative. One fan tweeted, "He had her in the background like an unpaid intern while he made songs about other girls. Now suddenly we're supposed to feel sorry for him." So naturally, people started demanding D4vd speak up. And finally, 2 days later, he broke his silence. No statement, no tweet. Instead, he went live on Instagram. And y'all, it was a mess. He started the live in his room. Hoodie up, barely any lighting. He looked tired, like he hadn't slept. Thousands of fans poured in instantly. some spamming heart emojis, others flooding the chat with "Speak up," "Apologize to Celeste," and "What's the truth?" He sighed, looked at the camera and said, "I didn't want to come on here. I really didn't. But clearly, you're all not going to let this go unless I say something." He went on to say that the situation had been blown out of proportion, that there was a lot more going on behind the scenes, and that people were believing half a story. Then he dropped a line that sent shockwaves through the fan base. He said, "Celeste not innocent either. You'll think she just some quiet, supportive girl, but she know what she did." Boom, instantly the chat went off. What did she do? Not him trying to flip it now. And give us receipts then. But instead of spilling more, he ended the live after just 7 minutes. No context, no explanation, just confusion. And you already know, within minutes, Celeste Not Innocent was trending on Twitter. Fans were split. Some started wondering if Celeste had also been talking to someone else. One person even posted a blurry screenshot from a random guy's story that had a girl who might have been Celeste in the background of a dinner. The comments ran wild with, "That better not be her," not her pulling a reverse Uno. And they both for the streets. But others were saying D4vd was deflecting, shifting blame instead of owning his mistakes. One fan tweeted, "He fumbled the only girl who held him down. Now he want to drag her name through the mud. Pathetic." And just when the drama couldn't get more twisted, Celeste's older sister entered the chat. She took to TikTok and posted a video with the caption, "Since y'all want to know the truth," and proceeded to tell a version of events that no one was ready for. In the video, she said, "Celeste didn't even want to date D4vd at first. He chased her for months, love bombed her, made her feel like she was special. And when she finally gave in, he started treating her like a secret, like she was something to be ashamed of." She went on to say that Celeste found out about Miami through a stylist who had been working with D4vd's team and recognized the girl from a TikTok. Apparently, the girl had posted a thirst trap with D4vd's necklace in the background, and it got back to Celeste and that infamous studio dinner in Miami. It wasn't even on the schedule. D4vd had told Celeste he was flying back to Texas, so not only was he lying, he was getting sloppy. The sister ended the TikTok with, "And let's not forget, Celeste helped him write the first 2 songs that got him signed, but he never gave her credit, never paid her. Not even a shout out, y'all." That part had the internet on fire. A producer who worked with D4vd early on even liked a comment that said, "So Celeste was ghostwriting this whole time." And once that happened, fans started digging into old demos, trying to match Celeste's voice to background vocals, comparing lyrics to her old poetry posts, even pulling up deleted tweets from 2023, where she quoted songlines that ended up in D4vd's music months later. So now the story wasn't just about cheating, it was about creative theft, betrayal on every level. And through all of this, D4vd still said nothing. No follow-up, no live, no post, just silence. Meanwhile, Celeste's Instagram started gaining thousands of followers per hour. People started tagging her in posts like, "Drop the song sis," and "We need your version of the story." Then the next twist hit. A new leak. Not video this time, but audio. Someone leaked a voice note, allegedly from D4vd, sent to a close friend, where he says, "I don't even know if I loved her like that. She was just there. She was convenient. I was lonely. She understood the music, but like, I never planned to marry her." Those exact words. "I never planned to marry her." That audio hit like a bomb. Fans were crying, angry and ready to cancel him. It felt like the final nail in the coffin. And suddenly, all those romantic lyrics he'd written started to feel fake, performative, even manipulative. People were saying, Celeste was never the muse, she was the blueprint. And at this point, major blogs started picking up the story. Shade Room Teens, Say Cheese TV, and even some UK gossip pages started posting breakdowns, timelines, and reaction videos. Some influencers even did full think pieces on TikTok, talking about how this was a classic example of industry gaslighting, where women support men emotionally, creatively, even financially in the beginning stages, only to be tossed aside once fame hits. But hold up, it's not over yet. Just when everyone thought D4vd had been fully exposed and Celeste was the victim, a third party entered the story. Someone no one saw coming. And what she had to say changed everything. Again. So boom, 2 days after the voice note leaked of D4vd saying Celeste was convenient and that he never planned to marry her, the internet was still on fire. Fans were dragging him left and right. Celeste was gaining a whole army of support, and it really felt like the court of public opinion had already ruled the case closed. But then, the third girl stepped forward, a woman named Amaya, not a big influencer, but known enough in the music scene, posted a now viral IG reel with the caption, "Since everyone wants the truth, here's mine." And what she said in that video left everybody with their jaws on the floor. She starts the video looking dead in the camera, no makeup, no filter. She says, "I wasn't going to say anything, but seeing Celeste get dragged into this, like she was the only one being played. Nah, D4vd's been lying to all of us." Boom, instant chaos. She goes on to say that she and D4vd were talking for nearly 5 months. Casually at first, then more seriously. And get this, she claims she had no idea Celeste even existed until the Miami trip. Apparently, D4vd told her he was single, told her he wasn't ready to date anyone seriously, but enjoyed spending time with her. And then she drops this line, "I thought I was the secret." Turns out Celeste was too. He was playing all of us. You could practically hear the internet break. Amaya said the trip to Miami wasn't a business thing at all. She says D4vd invited her on a creative getaway to get inspired. But when they got there, it felt like a full-blown couples retreat. Rooftop dates, massages, private dinners. "He even said he wanted to write a song about me," she says. "He told me I made him feel things Celeste never did." And y'all, the comment section under that reel? Insane. Half the fans were screaming, "Not a love triangle turned hexagon." And the other half were like, "Okay, but why expose this now?" But Amaya didn't stop there. She ended the reel with a bombshell. You want to know the real kicker? He was still texting me the night that video with Celeste was filmed. Still texting me the night that video with Celeste was filmed. The timeline suddenly got messier than ever. Fans started doing forensic-level investigation, comparing Instagram story timestamps, D4vd's flight receipts, text leaks, and fan sightings. And it all lined up. Somehow, he was allegedly managing both relationships at the exact same time. Then, to pour gasoline on the fire, Amaya posted screenshots, text messages, late-night voice notes, pictures of them together in hotel rooms, even one blurry mirror selfie where you can clearly see D4vd's signature silver necklace, the same one fans always thought Celeste gifted him. And in one particularly damning text, D4vd writes, "Don't worry about her. It's complicated, but I'm handling it. You're the one I write about now." Now, whether those texts are 100% real or edited, no one can say for sure. But at this point, even D4vd's most loyal stans were starting to crack. Some fan pages that used to post daily edits of him and Celeste took down their entire accounts. Others switched their profile pics to Celeste and changed their bios to "Justice for Celeste." The tide was turning hard. But here's the crazy part. Even with all this going on, Celeste still hadn't spoken directly. No Instagram live, no Twitter rant, no interview, just silence, which, weirdly, only made her more powerful. Fans were calling her the Queen of Quiet Clapbacks and saying she's letting her silence speak louder than his lies. But behind the scenes, Celeste was very much making moves. A source from the industry, who requested to stay anonymous, told a small podcast that Celeste had met with 3 major A&R execs in New York, and that they were extremely interested in developing her as a solo artist. Apparently, they see her as the next big indie R&B crossover, especially now that she has the story, the sympathy, and the receipts. And then came the teaser that sent the internet spiraling again. One Friday night, just as things were starting to quiet down, Celeste posted a 10-second video clip to her story. It was dark, just her silhouette, but in the background, a very familiar melody was playing. A slowed-down piano version of D4vd's unreleased song, Sugar Crash. The caption? Just 3 words. "My version soon." Instant explosion. Was Celeste dropping a remix? A diss track? Was she about to hijack the very song he allegedly wrote about another girl and flip it into her story? TikTok went crazy. Fans started doing mock covers, using her caption, making dramatic edits. And within hours, "My version soon" was trending. But while Celeste was quietly preparing to reclaim her narrative, D4vd was spiraling. Just days later, he popped up at an event in Atlanta, and multiple fans caught him on video, looking visibly frustrated. At one point, he was caught on mic saying, "I'm tired of being made out to be the bad guy." Then, he unfollowed Celeste. And Celeste never followed him back to begin with. Their mutuals started choosing sides. A few producers unfollowed D4vd. A photographer who shot some of their early work posted a throwback pic of Celeste with the caption, "Real recognize real. Some people don't deserve your vision." But then came the most shocking twist of all, a leaked legal document, allegedly part of a publishing dispute, revealed that Celeste had been listed as a co-writer on not just one, but 3 of D4vd's early tracks. The document had her government name alongside D4vd's, and showed she was entitled to royalties that, up until now, she hadn't been receiving. So now it wasn't just a love story gone wrong. It was a legal mess. Fans started tagging BMI and ASCAP, demanding answers. Indie blogs picked it up. Lawyers on TikTok started breaking down how common it is for early collaborators, especially women, to be cut out of credits when fame hits. And through it all, D4vd, still silent. But insiders say he's panicking behind the scenes. His label is allegedly urging him to issue a public apology before things get worse. One unconfirmed report even claims his team is trying to buy Celeste out of her credits to keep things from getting messier. But Celeste doesn't seem like she's selling anything. In fact, she posted another clip. This time, a video of her singing in the studio, raw vocals, stripped back, no auto-tune, just pain. And fans in the comments were saying, "She don't even need revenge. Her voice is the revenge." And now, the world is watching. Because Celeste isn't just the girl in the background anymore. She's front and center. And D4vd, he's losing control of the narrative. But if you think that's the end, oh no. A secret from D4vd's past comes out, and it might explain everything about how he moves, who he trusts, and why he's been running from accountability since day one. While fans were still trying to digest the legal leaks, the writing credits, and Celeste's low-key rise to center stage, something unexpected happened. A Reddit user, one who claimed to have gone to high school with D4vd back in Houston, posted a long thread titled, "Y'all don't know the real David." Let me tell you how this all started. At first, people thought it was just another clout-chasing post. But what this person shared, it lined up too well with things fans had already started piecing together. They wrote about how D4vd was never really the quiet art boy he presents himself as online. They said he had a reputation for being charming, yes, but also manipulative. That even in school, he'd have multiple girls thinking they were the only one, writing poems, lyrics, and little love notes, only to ghost them the second he got bored or inspired by someone else. They called it emotional recycling. And it didn't stop there. The thread claimed that one of D4vd's first viral tracks, the one that really put him on the map, was allegedly inspired by a relationship that ended because he cheated, not because he was heartbroken. Apparently, he flipped the narrative early on, painting himself as the victim when he was really the one doing damage. He's always known how to control the story, the thread said. Music just made it easier for him. Once that Reddit post hit Twitter, it was a wrap. Fans started digging up old photos, screenshots, and even snippets from old Q&A lives where D4vd contradicted himself on how certain songs were made. People were creating full-blown timelines and exposés, with some TikTokers literally building D4vd's deception chart, with string and pins like it was an FBI case. But the most damning piece came from an ex-crew member, a guy named Lorenzo who had worked on D4vd's early visuals. He posted a now-deleted Instagram story where he said, "Y'all think Celeste is the first girl he did dirty. Nah, this is just the first one who didn't let it slide." In the story, he went on to say that D4vd was obsessed with image, and that every move he made, even the mystery, the sadness, the emo boy in love aesthetic, was calculated for fan engagement. Lorenzo even claimed that D4vd had once said, "Sad sells. If they think you're heartbroken, they'll stream it more." That quote? Viral in seconds. Even mainstream outlets started covering it. BuzzFeed dropped a piece titled, "From Heartthrob to Heartbreak, the Rise and Fall of D4vd's Romantic Image." And in it, they referenced everything. The leaked footage, Celeste's songwriting credits, Amaya's video, the voice notes, and now this past behavior. Suddenly, the story wasn't about one mistake. It was about a pattern. And Celeste, she knew it too. she finally posted her first real statement. Not a story, not a cryptic caption, a full post. Black background, white text, simple and direct. It read, "Thank you to everyone who's been showing love. This hasn't been easy, and I never wanted to be in the spotlight this way. I didn't share the footage. I didn't ask for drama. I only wanted honesty. In love, in art, in life. I stayed quiet because I was trying to protect someone I once cared about. But silence doesn't protect you from being erased. So now I'm telling my story, not out of spite, but out of truth. My version soon." The post got over 1 million likes in 24 hours. Artists started reposting it. Even non-music influencers were sharing their support, calling her a silent soldier and the heart behind the hits. Hashtags like "This is Stand with Celeste" and "My version soon" were trending worldwide. And then, the final straw hit. A major music publication, one that had previously done a glowing profile on D4vd, published an updated article titled "Corrections." In it, they admitted they'd been contacted by Celeste's team regarding factual inaccuracies in their piece, specifically around songwriting credits and timeline details. The publication publicly corrected their article to reflect that Celeste had co-written 2 of the featured songs and had ongoing creative influence on D4vd's early sound. It was the industry's way of saying, yeah, she's the real deal. And D4vd? Still no official statement. His Spotify numbers started dipping. His upcoming tour shows weren't selling out like before. Fans were posting videos of people leaving mid-performance, and one particularly viral TikTok showed someone in the crowd holding up a sign that read, "Where's Celeste's credit?" It was clear. The damage wasn't just emotional anymore. It was financial, professional, reputational. But through all of it, Celeste kept rising. 1 week later, she officially announced her debut single. The title, "A Version of Me." A clear reference to the voice note where D4vd said, "I loved the version of her that fit into my music." The teaser clip, just her sitting in front of a piano, eyes closed, whispering the opening line. "You wrote me down, then tore the page." Instant chills. Fans flooded the comments with, "This about to eat," and "She took pain and turned it into power." The release date was set for Friday, and as of now, pre-saves are already breaking records for a debut artist. But here's the real kicker. Sources close to Celeste revealed that the same label that originally signed D4vd is now in talks to offer her a deal, a direct competitor move, poetic justice, and guess what? Amaya's getting a moment too. Turns out, she's a spoken word artist and just landed a feature spot on a new podcast where she breaks down her side of the industry and how she was manipulated into silence. People are praising her for stepping forward and not letting herself be sidelined by fan backlash. So now we have Celeste, reclaiming her story, dropping her music, finally being seen, Amaya, speaking out, turning pain into power, and D4vd, quiet, cornered, and watching the empire he built on half-truths start to crumble. But this ain't about cancel culture. This is about accountability, about artists getting the credit they deserve, and about fans realizing that sometimes the person behind the love song ain't as heartbroken as they seem. Because when the cameras stop and the lyrics fade, the truth has a funny way of finding the mic. And that, my friend, is the real story behind D4vd and Celeste, or at least the version that finally made it to the light. And there you have it, y'all. From leaked backstage footage to exposed voice notes, hidden writing credits, mystery girls, and past secrets, spilling out like confetti, this D4vd and Celeste situation turned from a little relationship fallout into a full-blown industry shake-up. What started as a private moment between 2 creatives has now become a public lesson in what happens when receipts, silence, and talent collide. Celeste didn't just walk away from the drama, she walked straight into her power. And now, the same girl who was once hidden in the shadows is about to dominate the charts with her own story, raw, unfiltered, her version. And D4vd, well, he might still be playing the quiet role, but the silence ain't saving him this time. The fans are watching, the blogs are clocking every move, and the world is waiting to see. Will he bounce back? Will he speak up? Or is the fairy tale finally over? But listen, we want to know what you think. Do you believe Celeste was the ghostwriter behind the glow-up? Was D4vd just misunderstood? Or did he really manipulate the whole narrative? And what about Amaya? Innocent caught in the crossfire or low-key part of the game? Drop your thoughts in the comments. No holding back. Make sure you smash that like button. Hit that subscribe if you're here for the real tea. And turn on those post notifs so you don't miss a single update. Because something tells us this story ain't over yet. And remember, in the world of music and mess, there's always another verse to the story. We'll catch you all next time.